here from newhometricks.com, and today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview, a bit of a tour of the Samsung Smartthings app. Now, if you haven't seen my videos so far of the unboxing and the initial setup, please do go and have a look at those. It'll give you an idea of the actual setup process. But once you get up and running, what does the main app actually look like? Well, today I'm going to go through that and give you a bit of an overview. This is the new Samsung Connect Smartthings app. This is not the old Smartthings Classic app, as Samsung are now referring to it as. Both are still available in the app stores, so if you want to have a look at both, you can do that. There is some functionality in the old app that isn't quite ready yet in the new version, but most things are there. So today we'll take a look at that. So let's get straight into it and see how it looks. Okay, so this is the main home screen of the Samsung Smartthings app. It's divided into three sections. You've got the dashboard section here, you've got the devices section, and then you've got the automations section. If we just start in the main dashboard here, this is very easy to customize. This is kind of like the main place where you might add shortcuts for the main things that you want to control on a regular basis. It's very easy to rearrange things here. You just tap and hold on any of these tiles here and you can just drag them to a new position. If you want to add more tiles, you can tap in the little dots in the top right here and then just tap on Manage Dashboard, and then you can just find any of the devices that you've already got controlled by Smartthings, and then you can just sort of toggle those on. So let's say I want to add the living room ceiling light. If I just tap on that to toggle it on, go back to the dashboard, and you can see that the living room ceiling light has now been added as a tile, and again I can just sort of drag that to where I want that to be. Now, if I want to review all of the devices that I have, or if I want to access any devices that I've not placed onto my dashboard here, I've got the devices section, and by default it shows you this all devices view, and this is giving you everything. As you can see, I've added a number of devices into Smartthings already. We've got Roku, we've got the Philips Hue, we've enabled the integration with that, we've managed to discover our Sonos speakers, so these are all added in here, and I'm going to cover off in more detail the specific integrations between Smartthings and stuff like Roku, Philips Hue, Sonos, that kind of thing in other videos, but today I'm just going to go through a bit of an overview of the Smartthings app. Now, this view is fine, but it's potentially a bit confusing with everything on the screen here at once. So if I drill down into the menu here and go into my home, this is my hub setup, then I can swipe through the various rooms that I've set up. So you've got living room here, swipe across to kitchen, swipe across to outside, swipe across to master bedroom. So this allows you to group all of your devices into the various rooms to which they belong. If there's any devices that don't belong to a particular room, you can just leave them in the all category, and that's fine. But grouping them into rooms is quite helpful to be able to filter through. And if you tap on the dots in the top right when you're in this view, you can use the Add Room button to add any additional rooms that you need. You've also got the Add Scene section here. This is useful for creating scenes and then grouping a bunch of actions into that scene so that you can activate that or deactivate it whenever you want. I haven't really played around too much with scenes yet, but just as with scenes or presets in other smart home control systems, you can use this to sort of group a collection of actions into one button that you can then activate whenever you want, rather than having to turn things on and off separately. So this is a great way to control things. Now, what you will see when you tap on any of these things is really going to vary depending on what the particular device type is. So when we're talking about Philips Hue lights, for example, if I tap on one of the lights that we've got here, it's going to come in and allow me to turn the light on, turn it off. If I turn the light on, I can control the color of this particular light, because this is a color bulb. I can control the color intensity, the color temperature. I've got a whole range of different controls that I've got here to be able to control the lights. But this is obviously very similar to what you can do through Philips Hue. It's just a different way of controlling that. Other things we can do, let's take a look at front gate. You can see this device front gate, and that's because we've got our Ring video doorbell discovered. So if I go into this, I can then, if I want to, activate the video, see what's going on, and I can see the latest status update, whether there's been any motion detected recently, whether anyone's pressed the doorbell button recently. So I have these kind of status updates available that I can review. Similarly, I've got access to my Sonos speakers. If I tap on one of these, I can turn it on. Now, effectively turning it on, Sonos speakers are on all the time, but if I do turn it on, I can then hit the play button and then start playback of whatever was the last thing that was being played on my Sonos speakers and control the volume. So you get the idea. There's a whole range of different things that I can do here, but now there's other things that you can do with SmartThings as well, which I'm not going to go into full detail on this video because there isn't really a scope right now, but one of the things that you can do is you can add your own little applets to the Samsung SmartThings system, and by doing that you can actually extend the basic capability of SmartThings. We've been having a play around with this because there's effectively a little developer portal that you can have access to, and through that you can add your own applets, add your own devices, and so we've been having a play around, hence there's these buttons and test that you see here. If I go into button, there's nothing you can do with that. Let's go into test. Okay, it's not a huge amount we can do with these things at the moment, but you get the idea. You can extend the capability. The presence of Roku is actually something that we've achieved through the use of this extensibility that SmartThings has. So by default, SmartThings isn't able to control Roku, but someone out there has written their own control software and made it available on the internet, and it's very easy to take that code, paste it into your own SmartThings system, create a little applet for that, and lo and behold, I can now control my Roku, and I've got these buttons that I can push to turn the Roku on, off, start some of the channels that I've got installed on my Roku. So that's a really great way for me to be able to control my Roku through my smartphone if I'd like to do that. If I've lost the remote, for example, and I want to be able to use my phone to control the system. Obviously there's a Roku app for most smartphones, but hey, you've got this additional level of integration. It just gives a bit of a demonstration of some of the things that you can do. If you've got a particular device that you'd like to control through SmartThings and you don't see it in the list when you say add device, and it's not here in any of the manual devices that you can add, well, you might be able to go out there on the internet and find that someone else has written a relevant control code, and you can just paste that into your system. I'll go through this in more detail in a separate video, but I think it's really cool that you can extend SmartThings, and it just sort of makes this whole kind of system a lot more useful. So it's really great to see that kind of stuff. If we go over and have a look at the automations section, automations is one of the areas where, of course, these kind of hubs that can control a whole range of different devices really come into their own. So I've already added a routine here, for example, and this is something that I've set up to trigger if someone presses the button of my Ring video doorbell. If someone presses that, if that condition is triggered, front gate, someone presses the button, then all of these actions are then triggered. Various different lights in my kitchen are turned on for 10 minutes, so you can set a little timer as to how long the lights stay on, and then the Sonos speaker in the kitchen starts playing music. So this is something that I've done because I'd like to have an extra little boost to this appearance of presence in my home. One of the great things about the Ring video doorbell is that, of course, even if you're not home, if someone presses the doorbell, you get that notification on your smartphone and you can speak to the person that's at the front door. And if it's someone that's maybe casing the joint out to see if there's anybody home, well, you can make it seem as if someone is home even if you're not there. To enhance that experience of giving the impression that someone's home, it's nice to have a few of the other things happening inside your house. So if there's a window into one of your rooms near the front of your home where someone is going to be standing when they've pressed the doorbell, maybe you want the lights to come on in that room so it seems as if someone's walked into that room. Maybe you want music to start playing so someone might hear, you know, it'll be fairly faint through the window, but they'll maybe hear the music through the window, and again, it's just going to enhance that impression that somebody's home. So I've set up this routine. Now previously I'd tried to do this using the if this then that service, and as I think I'd mentioned in that video, it can take up to an hour for the integration between the Ring video doorbell and the if this then that service to actually trigger any actions, and that's more of a limitation of the integration that Ring have with that service. However, using the SmartThings app, when I tried this, it works right away. It triggers it immediately. So all of these actions that I've got set up are triggered immediately. And of course, it's very easy to add additional automations. So you can come in and set up a variety of different actions here. Anything that you would want. There's a whole load of recommended automations, kind of templates that you can choose. But if you tap on custom automation down at the bottom here, you can set your own conditions and actions. And of course, you can have multiple actions triggered when any of these conditions that you set are met. So this makes it very easy to set these kind of multi-action triggers that you can't do with if this then that. So again, this is some of the stuff that I find a little bit more useful using something like this versus some of the other things that I've tried. Obviously there's a lot more that I want to play around with, particularly this extensibility of being able to write your own applets and use other applets that other people have published to be able to extend the usefulness of your SmartThings hub. So there's a variety of things I want to do there. I do want to note one thing as well, is that even without the hub, you can use this app to control, if you've got a Samsung Smart TV, then you can use this app to directly control your TV. No need for a hub for this. So if you go in and have a look at your TV, you get this kind of remote control view. My TV is not powered on at the moment, but recently things seem to change. When we originally started using this, you couldn't actually turn the TV on through this app. But I think there must have been some kind of an update either to the TV or to the app, because now you can press the power button from within the app and it actually allows you to turn the TV on even from standby. So that's kind of cool. Obviously this is a Samsung app, so you can only use this to control Samsung smart TVs. Whether or not there are people out there that have written their own applets to control other smart TVs, not sure, haven't looked into that just yet, but there may well be that kind of capability out there. But yeah, so far this is working out pretty well for us. Like I say, it's allowing us to add the kind of automations that we otherwise wouldn't have access to. That's quite cool. I need to check into adding things like integration with Alexa, with our Amazon Echo. One of the things that I think is going to be really useful there is if we're able to add multi-action scenes, then being able to tell Alexa to activate one of these scenes means that we can just give Alexa one command to trigger an action on SmartThings that in turn then does a whole load of things in the house for us. So rather than having to issue multiple commands to Alexa for things that we want to do, we can have just one command to do a whole load of things, which will make things a lot more convenient. So that's certainly something I'm interested in trying out. But that's a brief overview of the Samsung SmartThings app, the user interface there, and how that looks and feels. So I hope that's been useful. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a good overview of how the SmartThings app works. Plenty more to come on this. I've got many more videos that I want to do on how it integrates with some of the other smart home technologies that we've installed so far. Our Sonos speakers, Philips Hue, Ring Video Doorbell, that kind of thing. In the meantime, if you want to read more, please do have a look in the description below for the link to the companion blog post that I've written up, or have a look on the website, newhometricks.com. If you've liked this video, please share it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.